Hi, library friends. This is Miss Amy coming to you from Patterson Library. This is week 2 story time for the Mighty Munchkins. So if you're preschool going into kindergarten, this story time is for you. This week we're going to talk about some tall tales and some folk tales. A tall tale is a story with some unbelievable elements to it, but it is related as if it is true. So some of the stories I tell you today, you may think, that can't be true. Well, it probably isn't. But when we're having Imagine Your Story this summer, we can have all sorts of fun imaginary stories happening. So I'm going to show you some folk tale and tall tales that you might want to read at home. Before we start, let's sing our gathering song. The more we get together, the more we get together, happier we'll be. For my friends are your friends, and your friends are my friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. Now, first I'm just going to show you a few books. These will be available for you to check out here at Patterson Library. We have curbside pickup available, so just call us if you'd like to check out some of these books. I'll be reading a shorter version of this one in a little while, Paul Bunyan. Now, I told you last time that some stories are retold, some of the fairy tales and folk tales and tall tales. So this one's retold by Stephen Kellogg. I also have a collection of tall tales, larger than life, the adventures of American legendary heroes. This book has stories about John Henry, Paul Bunyan again, Strap Buckner, Slewfoot Sue, and Pecos Bill, and others. So this one has several stories in it. So as you're reading for your summer program on the Read Squared program, those would take up quite a few minutes if you want to read those. The Legend of Pecos Bill, The Legend of William Tell, Sally Ann Thunder and Whirlwind Crockett, and the Three Sillies are some more fun tall tales that you might enjoy reading. So we'll have those available. But I'm going to start today with a poem about Paul Bunyan. This book, Very Short Tall Tales, has again several poems that are about some of our tall tale legendary heroes. Paul Bunyan. I'm the mighty Paul Bunyan, best logger of all. When I bellow timber, then 20 trees fall. You've got to be lying. That cannot be done. You cannot cut 20 at once, only one. Not when you're Paul Bunyan. I swing my axe round and 20 tall pine trees all fall to the ground. I do not believe you. That story's too weird. Well, how do you think that the prairies got cleared? You're claiming you cleared them? You're claiming that too? I am, and that's all. That's not all Paul Bunyan can do. I dug the Grand Canyon. Now that tale's too tall. You dug the Grand Canyon? You've gone too far, Paul. Not when you're a giant the day when you are born. 10 storks had to bring me that Maine winter morn. 10 storks for one baby? 10 storks brought me there. My weight set a record. 100 pounds bare. Your tales are impossible, worse than I feared. And what's better yet, I was born with a beard. A bushy black beard that they combed with a rake. A beard on a baby? Well, that takes the cake. Then when I was 20, the snow came down blue. I heard someone crying. So what did you do? I dug in a snowdrift through ice and through rocks, and guess what I found there? A blue baby ox. Your stories grow stranger. An ox that was blue? A blue ox named Babe, and he grew and he grew. And now we're best buddies. We've logged near and far. Whenever there's timber to fell, there we are. Your tales are amazing, as tall as a tree. I'll read them to you, and you read them to me. So that's the story about Paul Bunyan, but there's several more in here that you might enjoy checking out and reading. And the next story, before I share my next story, I went out and asked my son to cut a piece of a tree trunk for me because I was thinking of Paul Bunyan. And you may know this, but if you have a cross piece from a tree, you can see the circular rings in it. Each year, a tree makes a new ring in its trunk. And if you count the rings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can discover how many years old the tree is, how many years that tree has been standing. Sometimes the rings are wider, sometimes they are narrower. And I looked that up. And if it was a very good year with the perfect kind of weather and the tree got lots of sunshine and nutrition, then the ring will be a little bit bigger because the tree can grow a little more. If the winter is very hard and there's not as much sunshine and nutrition during the summer, then the ring on the tree will be more narrow. So I thought that was kind of cool. Now I don't know if this will work because the rings aren't really raised, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to see if I could make a print with my tree stump. So if you have a piece of firewood at your house, you might want to try this. So because we're talking about trees, I thought green would be a good color. I'm just going to put a little green paint on my tree trunk. Not too thick because I want to see if it makes any kind of print. Spread that around. You could do this at home with a branch or a tree trunk. And then, now I know it's not totally flat, so it may leave some spaces. Then I'm going to take that and press it down on my piece of paper just to see. Rock it back and forth a little bit. Ooh! I'm going to add a little more paint because that did work. I can sort of see the rings from the tree trunk. Let me do it once more and then I'll hold it up so Mr. Austin can bring the camera in nice and close and you can see it. Okay. Oh, that one I smeared a little. This is kind of cool. So the top one isn't very good, but the bottom two, you can actually see the rings from the tree. So this would be a fun experiment craft for you to do at home. This one I wiggled, so try not to wiggle. Try to go straight down and straight up. I did rock it back and forth a little. But if you can cut a piece of wood nice and flat, you can do some printing and think about the story of Paul Bunyan. So my next story is going to be a flannel board story right up here, and it's called The Little Red Hen. This book is retold by Jerry Pinkney, but The Little Red Hen has been around for ages, so you may know it. In fact, maybe you've seen me do it at the library in past years. One day there was a little hen. She was out in the farmyard with her little chicks who were pecking around for food. She was sweeping up because she was a very tidy little hen. And as she was sweeping, all of a sudden she noticed a little seed. All the other animals in the meantime were just sleeping. The cat, the lazy pig, and the duck. They weren't working at all. Little hen always did all of the work, cleaning up in the farmyard. Look at this seed, she said to her children. I am going to plant it and see what we can have grow. And that is just what she did. Who will help me plant this seed, she asked. Now, if you're at home and you know this story, you can say it with me. Not I, said the cat. Not I, said the pig. Not I, said the duck. Then I'll do it myself. So with help from her little chicks, the hen planted the seed in the ground. It was hard work shoveling, but she did all the work. After a while, sure enough, the seed sprouted into some tall, tall wheat. Who will help me cut the wheat, said the little hen. Not I, said the cat. Not I, said the pig. Not I, said the duck. Well, then I'll do it myself, said the little red hen. So with the help of her little chicks, that's exactly what she did. After the wheat was all cut, she was going to take it to the market. Who will help me take this wheat to the market to have made into flour? Not I, said the cat. Not I, said the pig. Not I, said the lazy duck. Well, then I will do it myself. And she took the wheat to have it milled into flour and brought it back to the farm. Well, when she got back, she knew exactly what she was going to do. "Who will help me make some bread out of this wonderful flour?" said the Little Red Hen. But you know what happened. "Not I," said the cat. "Not I," said the duck. "Not I," said the pig. "Well, then I will have to do it myself," said the Little Red Hen. So she mixed up the flour with the yeast and the salt and the water. She kneaded and kneaded and kneaded. She shaped a beautiful loaf of bread, and she put it in the oven. Well, about that time, the hen, the pig, and the duck could smell something wonderful. They came to her door. Said the Little Red Hen as she took the bread out of the oven. "Who will help me eat this bread?" "I will," said the duck. "I will," said the cat. "I will," said the pig. "Oh, no you won't," said the Little Red Hen. "All by myself. I planted the seed. All by myself. I cut the wheat. All by myself. I took it to the mill to be ground into flour. All by myself, I made this beautiful loaf of bread. And all by myself, with my little chicks, I will eat it." So the duck and the pig and the cat learned a lesson that day. And next time the little hen needed help, they were the first to volunteer. Now we have a few different books of the Little Red Hen here at the library, so you may want to check one of those out one day soon too. I have one more short story that I'm going to share with you, and it's about some travelers who came into a village. This story is called Stone Soup, and it gives us a great lesson. I have to grab one thing, so stay right where you are, and I'll be right back. One day, some travelers came into a village. They were hungry from traveling. But in this village, although there were some very nice people, none of them liked to share. When the villagers asked if there was a place that someone would share some dinner with them, everyone said, "No, we don't have anything to share, sorry. We don't have enough food to share, sorry." So the travelers had an idea. They found a beautiful rock. They washed it and scrubbed it until it shone. And they took a big pot and put the rock into the pot. And they said to a few villagers who were around, "Well, if no one here can share anything, we can make our own food. We're going to make stone soup." "Stone soup?" said the people in the village. "We've never heard of such a thing. You can't eat soup made out of a stone." "Just watch and see," said the travelers. They added some water to the rock in the pan, and they began to stir as they cooked it over a fire. As they stirred and cooked, one of the travelers said, "You know, our stone soup is always delicious, but it would taste a little better if it had some corn in it." Well, there was a young boy nearby whose family had just harvested corn from their field. He ran home and said, "We have a little extra corn to spare. You can have this for your soup." And so the travelers added it to their soup. They stirred and stirred. Said the second traveler, "Our soup is always better if we have a carrot or two in it." Well, the villagers were very intrigued. So one of the women went home and said, "I do have a couple of carrots." And they added those to the soup. The soup began to smell delicious with the vegetables they were adding. Another villager said, "I have a few peppers from my garden." And he brought one that they could add to the soup. "Oh, it's smelling so good. Just a tiny salt to season it would make it delicious," said the traveler. And sure enough, some of the villagers did have some soup that they would let the travelers use. "Oh, it's delicious. A little thin. Maybe we can thicken it up a little." And one of the children said, "We have beans at our house. That would thicken it." And so they brought beans and added the beans to the soup. Well, by that time, most of the villagers had come back around. Cabbage was added, a slab of ham, the villagers all decided maybe they could share a little bit. And as it cooked, it smelled better and better. So many things were brought by the villagers who didn't think they had anything to share, that the soup was huge in the pot and there was plenty to share. When it was done, the travelers gave each villager a nice bowl full of soup. They all ate the soup together and they all enjoyed it. And from that time ever, that village became one of the best towns for people who like to share. And that's the story of Stone Soup. Now I want to remind you to keep reading. I hope you got to see our special event on Monday, and keep putting your reading time into Read Squared so that you'll be eligible for some prizes. And don't forget to do the missions so you get into the raffle drawings. It's been great being here with you this week, and we'll see you next time.